one of the cities in the South that never sleeps. Nashville, Tennessee hosted a big matchup on Saturday afternoon. Number 10 LSU at number 17 Vanderbilt. God, there's an edge building in Nashville, and it was on full display Saturday in that noon game. The noon slot was tough for LSU.
Yeah, not a good day for LSU, but what a phenomenal day if you're Vanderbilt in the state of that program. Diego Pavia, they were 6 for 13 on third down. They had 6 more first downs than LSU had. They had almost 400 yards, 399 yards of total offense against an LSU defense that we've said to be pretty stout, that we've raved about. They were missing Whit Weeks, one of their star linebackers, but at the same time, LSU could have still won this game, and I think this game was won by just who wants it more. And it looked like Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt, they wanted it more than LSU did. I think that was the separating factor in this game. You can sit here, give you numbers, you can give you whatever, but Diego Pavia refused to lose this game, and he wanted it more. I think that's the difference maker in this game.
Totally. And I think there is a real conversation to be had about the complete opposite directions that both of these SEC coaches are going in. One's building something really special at a school that has been starving for it for many, many years, and the other is losing a grip on what he was believed to have, that being Clark Lee and Brian Kelly. I think we start with Clark Lee because he worked under Kelly at Notre Dame as a defensive coordinator, took the head coaching job at Vanderbilt. They were the doormat when Clark Lee got to this program. And now they look like a team that has structure. You mentioned it. They've got a certain edge and an attitude to them that is hard to stop and hard to out-confidence, I think. They've built an identity there. And, I mean, from a progression standpoint, he's developed Diego Pavia into a guy that's now doing the Heisman pose in the end zone, and he's saying he's the best player in college football. I mean, the guy's accounted for 25 total touchdowns through just 7 games. Lee said after the game, like, we've earned the right to celebrate, but this game won't define our season. That's something big. Vanderbilt was rushing the field when they beat Alabama. They didn't even think about doing it this time because they're growing into something new and knowing what this program can be. That's something that a coach that's building for something bigger sustains success. And on the other side with Brian Kelly, that is the other side. A team loaded with talent, a former top 10 ranking. They had a guy in Garrett Nussmeier who came back to school to hopefully try to lead LSU to a national championship and find himself high up on the NFL draft boards after this season. 5-star athletes everywhere. They're sitting at 5-2. Brian Kelly's 5-10 versus ranked teams at LSU. Their offense is a must, right? We talk about death, taxes, LSU offense. That's usually how it goes. Well, LSU, the Tigers have been rocking with death and taxes all year long. 4 red zone trips against Vanderbilt, all field goals. Can't do that. And in Kelly's postgame, we've seen this time and time again from Brian Kelly. He said we had opportunities, we just didn't cash in on them, which is kind of the point. Like, I feel frustration for the LSU fans because I had seen it following Notre Dame for as long as I had. Like, this is what you signed up for with Brian Kelly. And at what point does we didn't cash in on him become your identity? Because I feel like that's the pit that LSU might be falling into now. And if years ago, if I had said this, I probably would have laughed. But now, I mean, Clark Lee's growing something really elite at Vanderbilt, and Brian Kelly's underachieving. And if you don't believe me, check the scoreboard in Nashville. That's how I feel about that situation. I feel for LSU fans.
Brian Kelly, you gotta find a way to win these big time games, and he's gonna have another one against Bama. That's the thing about LSU's still gonna have their chances to rebound this season. So don't put your head down all the way, but they've got to figure out that offense. Dude, Garrett Nussmeier had to be consoled on the sidelines right before that game was about to end. He's sitting on the bench and he's literally probably crying because right now his draft stock is lower than it was last year, and he's probably really in shambles because he came back to win a national championship. That was their plan, and quite frankly, they're far ways away from being able to win a national championship with how that offense is playing right now.
Just one of the biggest surprises for me this season is the flip, right? We know LSU's defense was the big question mark coming in, and we see in the Clemson game, whoa, this LSU defense might be for real. And you expect the offense to be what it's been for so many years, and we see not much resemblance of that offense at all. So it's a tough pill to swallow, I know, for the fans down in Baton Rouge. Not over, certainly. There's lots of chances in SEC play to continue to try to make your case to be one of those 2-loss teams that we might see in the college football playoff. So plenty of chances left, but I know that the hope there has probably dwindled a lot in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, Probably so. You'd probably be right there.